Morning everyone, how are you all doing? This video is probably going to be posted in the afternoon. Afternoon everyone, how are you all doing? So today is finally the day. I'm finally sitting down and I'm going to be reviewing all 5 of the Scream Factory Halloween 4K transfers and also reviewing the films themselves. It's a bit of both really. It's more of a review than an unboxing like the last video, which will be in the link in the description. So of course this year we have, like I said, we have seen the release of the first 5 Halloween films on Scream Factory with brand new 2021 4K restorations, a brand new artwork and pretty much loads of special features just crammed into it. Basically quite a lot of the extra features that you were seeing in that big Halloween box set that came back out in 2012, 2014 from Scream Factory. Now a lot of it being ported over with the new scan, and obviously the new scan, I think there's a few new ones here and there, but most of the stuff has been ported over from that stuff, which is quite nice still, for someone like me who obviously wasn't importing stuff back at the beginning of the last decade, so I missed out on that set, so it's now nice to have these 5 releases from Scream Factory. So without any further ado, we might as well just get right onto it because we're here to talk about Halloween even though Halloween's gone, so let's get right into it. So before I watched the new scan, I did have a quick look at the original 2018 Blu-ray scan that we got here for the 40th anniversary, so obviously there's just the normal standard Blu-ray slip there, and there's the Zavvi exclusive 4K for this one. So comparing these two transfers right off the get-go is ridiculous. This is miles better. Right just from the get-go, when you're watching the pumpkin intro, you can tell by how washed out that orange is. It doesn't feel like it's the actual orange of a pumpkin, whereas I feel like they actually kind of fixed this quite well. I feel like they do clean it up the color quite well with this new 2021 4K restoration, because this one is a very noisy transfer. Like you watch it, the grain is very unbearable in a lot of places, in my opinion, because I don't really know why I'm one of those people, but what they've done with this transfer is really good. They've actually really reduced the noise of the transfer, and it just makes some shots look absolutely crisp. So just like great example is that scene where Tommy is getting bullied by Lorne and his friends at school, and then Michael jumps Lorne. Like that scene, I really like that. I think that looks really great on this new transfer. Whereas it looked alright on this, but the grain kind of takes away from it. So, and also just, like I said, washed out. This feels very washed out, and I feel like this one has actually started bringing some more of the colour back into it, which is quite nice. Obviously, it's an autumn-based film, and they're trying to get that sort of vibe to it. But yeah, I'd say this is the much more superior transfer compared to this transfer. Another great example of this one, which I think is done better, is the classroom scene where Laurie is sat there looking out the window and she sees Michael. I think in this one it's very dark and underlit, whereas I think like they sorted kind of out the lighting problem like on the transfer. It looks better. You can see more clearly what's going on, in my opinion. Yeah, just I'm a lot happy with this transfer, honestly. I think this transfer is really good. And obviously we got the lovely art on the front there. I think the art for all of these is fantastic. And for those who didn't see the review, there's the swappable art. But the film itself still stands out as a classic to me. It's still really well paced. I love the feeling of it. All the shots, the music, it's just really well done. And because of this new transfer, I think you get to appreciate all those lovely shots that Dean Cundy did. And obviously, also if you've some of those shots he could only record for like 4.5 minutes, I think, before he had to stop because of the new kind of camera he was using. But so he did a really good job. I think he'd done a really good job with a lot of the tracking shots. And also rewatching this transfer, I have a much bigger love for Nick Castle and his performance of Michael Myers. I think he does a great job as Michael Myers in this film. And yeah, I just really think that this is a really great film. Still one of the best Halloween films we've ever got, and just one of the best horror films we've had of all time, and I just think this transfer is really good. I would definitely say this, if you're a super duper hardcore Halloween fan, this is definitely probably the best standard just edition release that you can get. Well, it's not standard edition, it's a collector's edition in it, so, you know, but I would definitely say that this is probably the best edition. And remember, if you're going to pick these up, only the 4K discs are region 3, the Blu-ray discs are region A. But yeah, honestly, go for this transfer over this transfer, in my opinion. This transfer is just not that good. But that steelbook, though, we gotta love it. I do like having both of these editions. And the standard slip. I will say, though, compared to the DVD quality, fuck me, it's not, it's just, This is far better than this, but still, this quality. Also, look at that cover. I like how it's just a mixture of that cover and Michael Myers' face. Do you remember this? Do you remember this DVD? Yeah. If you've got this, upgrade this immediately, because this is not that good. And also, special features. There's like none on it. It's fucking rubbish, but yeah. Halloween definitely gets a recommendation in my eyes. Now, Halloween 2. So, the night continues, basically. I didn't watch this too far up to Halloween, actually, the actual night of Halloween. But comparing the two transfers that I had from the DVD to the Blu-ray, yeah, this is obviously still the more superior edition now. That they've done a really good job. It's quite in the same vein as the first one. They seem very similar, but both of them like supposed to be sort of like on the same note. So I get what it means. But yeah, no, it does really look really good. Like I'd say this like. In some places looked as good as like a transfer for The Thing. John Carpenter's Thing, it looked really crisp. Like when, example, when Michael was putting the needle into the side of the nurse's face, it looks super crisp. There was some absolutely gorgeous crisp. I think where all of these transfers seem to dip a bit is with exterior shots, because there's some of the close-up shots in interior locations look absolutely crisp. Example, in Halloween 3. When Tom Atkins is holding the pumpkin up to his face, that just looks super duper crisp. Whereas like when you see shots of Ben Tramer walking across the street and like say this, it's very blurry, but then you see the van hit him and then the explosion happens, and the explosion and the fire and the colours, they just pop. They look great. I must say, in Halloween's 2 and 4, there's a lot of explosion and fire and stuff like that. They look really good. Honestly, I think like it's nice just to see a bit of colour being added back into it, because these are the most colourful films in the world, like the first 2 and I'd say 4 and 5. Definitely number 3 is quite colourful. But yeah, honestly, this transfer is incredible. Just like how much colour pops into it. It just looks as pretty good as just as good as the first one in my opinion. And they're just nice to have together, like back to back. I feel like it feels like they were shot within the same year. Yeah. Comparing this to the first one, though, I think it's alright. I do really like this. I actually forget how much I really like this sequel, personally. Yeah, I really like this. I think this is a really good job. I still don't know if I prefer it over Halloween 2018, because obviously they're the direct sequels for the first one. That's for another day. But yeah, honestly, I did forget how well done this is. There is a lot of characters just not doing a lot really in this one. I will give it that. But Michael was very menacing in this film, and some of the shots where it just looks great. Another great shot that is when he's on fire and he's walking down. That ending looks, and the bit where his face is burning at the end to Mr. Sandman, amazing. And and also with this one, just like the last one, the title sequence just looks incredible. Honestly, these transfers are really good. I really enjoy them. But yeah, honestly, Halloween 2 was just so good. Definitely not one of the strong. I would say there's definitely a lot of hollow space in this, so it does lean more towards a Halloween 1.5 than a Halloween 2, but still a very enjoyable sequel in my eyes, and a good transfer as well, just as good as the first one if you ask me. But yeah, Halloween 2 is definitely worth a pickup. And also, I would say keep a hold of this DVD if you have it, because you have 2 bonus features on here with audio commentaries from Stephen Jones, the film writer and award horror expert, and Kim Newman, film critic, which I don't think you actually get on. I don't think you get. I don't think you can get either of them on here. No, we don't. So yeah, if you've got this, keep a hold of this, just because there's 2 bonus features on there that you don't have. But yeah, honestly, this transfer here, much better. I can't compare it to a Blu-ray because obviously I live in the UK and sadly we never got a Blu-ray. This is why I'm happy that Zavvi put the Screen Factories up on, because it's now it was more accessible to get these. Actually, I say this, I got this off Wow HD, but yeah, honestly. Also, Wow HD did a great job delivering this. They came very quickly. Yeah, but Halloween 2 is very good. So next we're going to talk about the odd duckling in the Halloween franchise, Halloween 3. Now, this, I'm going to go say it right off the bat, has the best transfer. I would say this has the best transfer. And hear me out for a sec. It's because this film is so much more colourful than the previous 2, and the next 2 as well, if you ask me. There's a lot of great colours in here, obviously, just from the free mask alone with the white, green and orange. They're just there alone, just, honestly. Yeah, like I talked about earlier when Tom Atkins is holding that pumpkin in that guy's hand, like, it looks so bright and so orange and so crisp. It looks like I'm in the room with him. It looks so good, and just like shots where they're out and like when they're when Tom Atkins and what's her face pull up to the Silver Shamrock Town or whatever it's called, it's like Saint M. Saint something. But yeah, when they're pulling up through that, just it looks really good. And just when they're driving through the country and stuff like that, it just looks so good. You can hardly see the grain. The colours are popping. Like, everything is just... There's so much going on the scene. Your eye, I feel like, to me, your eye doesn't know where to look because everything looks just so gorgeous. And some of the scenes look so gross. Like when he's fucking... Oh, and the gunk comes out of him. Ugh. Also, when that kid's got all the bugs coming out of his face. Everything in this film looks incredible. They've done such a good job with this transfer. And the upscaling from the original, like this original DVD, is incredible, honestly. Also, we talk about just how well the different covers are. Obviously, that's the poster, but Screen Factory and whoever does the designs for all these does a really good job. I feel like something about these covers I noticed was there's just so many little Easter eggs in all of them. Like, you can see all the bugs in the background and all the Silver Shamrock. It's just really nice. I really like how much effort they've put into all of these releases. But yeah, honestly, Screen Factory, Halloween 3 definitely has the best transfer. Shall we talk about the film quickly? Because obviously it's The Odd Duckling, because obviously it has nothing to do with Halloween. Obviously, we don't have Michael Myers in this film. It's the first one branching off, and they wanted to do their own thing, which is fair enough, because, yeah, following the same thing all the time can be a bit boring for a film director, which I do get. And for what they did for this, I think they did a really nice job. I like how they made it feel like, in some ways, a very English horror film in America. I don't know if you get that vibe. It's mainly the town itself. It feels very quaint, very Irish. It's like a mixture of Irish and Amish. It's really cool. I really like the spooky feeling that the town gives off. The production design for everything, like how much they went out on the mask and the town and the city and everything. They just really went all out on this film, and I think they did a really good job. And you can really feel that Deborah Hill and John Carpenter influence on the rest of the script and everything like that. Yeah, honestly, it's really good. It's just a great little standalone anthology film about Halloween. It's also the fact it's just got a bit of everything in. It's got cults. It's got spirits from the other side. It's got murder, creepy crawlies, masks, like everything Halloween. Just there's quite a lot of just different angles of Halloween just put into this film, and I think, yeah, they did a really good job. Yeah, Halloween 3 definitely gets a high recommendation as well. It's definitely the best of the transfers. Yeah, honestly, really good. Another great packed release. Obviously not as packed as special features wise compared to the first two, but honestly still happy to have these in my collection, and yeah, honestly recommend this one the most. If you're not a Michael Myers fan and just want a cool Halloween film, I'd definitely just pick up Halloween 3 just for the sake of it, just because it looks really nice and it's just a great standalone horror film. But yeah, Halloween 3 on Screen Factory. Really love that transfer. Really nice. Now, I want to talk about this quite a lot in depth because I hadn't watched this film. I actually hadn't watched either of these films in at least 4 years. Like, I had not sat down to watch them in ages. So, we're going to talk about Halloween 4 now. The Return of Michael Myers. And what fucking fashion does he return? This film is fucking incredible. I can't express how good of a horror sequel this is. People have said that, yeah, this is one of their favourites. But it honestly is just really good. It follows on very well from number 4. And it really has this really eerie feeling to it. Michael is a fucking beast. He does look stupid with that mask, like, I can't deny to you, and he looks a bit too bulky, but at the same time, he's a fucking monster throughout this film. I think Michael that kind of rivals this is probably Halloween 6 and Kills, and 2018. Oh, and the Rob Zombie ones. I forget how brutal the Rob Zombie Michael Myers is. So let's talk about the transfer real quick. Right off the bat, when you look at the intro, that's when you can tell that it's just a very crisp transfer. Yes, of course, there's some noticeable grain because it's all shot outside, but it really does look really nice, and all the Halloween props that you see in the opening title sequence just look incredible. And can I mention how good the title sequence is for Halloween 4? It really sets it apart from, obviously because it follows the same vein as Halloween 1 and 2, same timeline, but it wants to set itself apart, and that intro eerie title sequence really does set itself apart from Halloween's 1, 2, and 3. This is honestly such a great opening to it. I really like the text as well. I think the text design is really nice. Yeah, just that intro is just very haunting. It's very eerie. The sound design's very well, and it really matches the creepy, open emptiness of that the countryside in America. I think it does a really good job of setting the tone for the film. Yeah, like I said, obviously transfer on the outsides it's more noticeable with grain, but inside it's not. A great example of that I could think of this is when the two doctors who are transferring Michael from thingy to, I think it's Smith Grove, to somewhere else, I'm not too sure. The guard who is at the thingy, when I watched the I don't know if it's down to me not noticing or how weak the transfer is on this DVD, but when I used to watch this I never noticed that the guard has a bit of like something on the front of his tooth, but the transfer is so clear on this, I was actually able to see it for the first time. Not great for the actor, obviously, because no one wants to see their imperfections, but he's probably not with us anymore. May he rest in peace, maybe, I don't know. Obviously not good for the actor to be able to see those imperfections, but it's the fact that how clear these transfers have gotten to the point where you can notice stuff like that now, I think is really great, and how they're just paying so much attention to detail on the scans. But yeah, all that stuff in the hospital looks absolutely incredible. I will mention it's the use of white, like the ambulance itself. I remember when you can see all the shots of the ambulance outside, that they look so good, and when they're on the inside, when they're driving away with Michael, just look great. Yeah, just I'll talk more about the white levels again later in the video, but honestly, yeah, it looks really good. So obviously the people transferring Michael from one place to the other, they're over talking about any family members, and obviously he hears about a niece. He breaks out, and yeah, goes to go find Jamie Lloyd. But yeah, that scene, I do really like that scene where he breaks out of the hospital. The music beforehand is really good as well. That the new 80s sort of it's like in the same. The music is like in the same vein as Halloween 2, but also isn't. It feels different, but also feels similar, which is nice. I like when it's like it's familiar but isn't. I like that sort of thing. But yeah, that's really good. I don't know, just with that theme, there was just some extra laying to it that made my hair stand on edge. It was just so good, and just, oh, really good music choice, honestly. I really liked it. But yeah, like I said, with the white levels, the white levels look really great, and I think the whites help other colours pop quite well. Like, again, with the ambulance, like, obviously all the reds and the blues that you see on it just pop even more because of it. And, what's another really very bright scene? The scene where they find the crashed ambulance. That's a very good scene. You can again see how white the ambulance is, and because it's so bright around, you can see all the crispness of all the surrounding area. And also in that scene where you see the close-up of Dr. Loomis's face, looks incredible. Like, you can see all the intricate burn patterns on there, and it's just like, before you could tell he was burned, but now like you can see the actual detailing and the effect that it has on it. And also how he brings that to his performance is absolutely incredible. I would say Loomis definitely gets his acting as Dr. Loomis only gets better. Like, and then this is where it really starts hitting its stride. Like, it's fantastic. He does such this evil, like, I feel like everything I do just doesn't work, but I've got to keep trying, you know, and I really love that, honestly. Donald Pleasance really did bring an extra edge to the character and to the films because of it, and I really appreciate that, because it just makes for such an interesting character to look at. The kills in this are fucking ridiculous. The guy he throws onto the electric pylon, the girl he kills with a shotgun, he breaks that kid's face. Also, I don't know if this sounds a bit weird, but this transfer has a real autumn vibe to it. Like, it really helps make me believe more it's set during that time of year. Like, example, like I said, with the pumpkins and the oranges and the leaves. Like, the leaves just look so natural, as if you were walking down the street. Like, they look just so dead yet golden. It's beautiful. And also, like I said, with the fire, so it's the scene where Loomis has tracked Michael down to a gas station. No, he's gone to a gas station, he's found out that Michael's there. When the whole gas station explodes, it just looks phenomenal. Like, the orange just looks so warm. It looks like it's going to scald my face off. This is a really good transfer, honestly. I really like this. Also, something I want to talk about is the music cues in this one. They're absolutely fucking incredible. Like, where Jamie picks up the old, the old new version of the costume that Michael, when he sticks that little creepy music cue of the theme. Oh, There's just loads of little great moments like that in this film. I don't know, and just as a whole, Danielle Harris as Jamie Lloyd is just fantastic. I haven't even mentioned her this whole review yet. She is like one of the biggest reasons this is such a great film. She does a fantastic job in the role. She does a very believable, vulnerable young girl. Yeah, honestly, she is one of the best things about this film, or maybe the best thing. I'm not too sure, but honestly, Halloween 4, I can't express to you how good this film is. It is definitely in my like top 5 favourite Halloweens of all time. It's just so good, honestly. Yeah, again with the music as well, it's just that nice mix of that fantasy element before 5 and 6 really took it to that supernatural level with their stories. It's just really nice, and also that ending. The ending of Halloween 4 is one of the most chilling endings I've ever seen in a horror film. It's the way that you got that nice mimic to the first one, and then the pure emotion from everyone in that fit, like from Rachel, from the dad, from the detective, from Donald Pleasance again in that final scene. The fear you see in his eyes, you're thinking it's all gone, but it's just moved on. Oh, absolutely brilliant. I cannot fault how great this film is. Halloween 4 is definitely a must-watch from the Halloween's franchise, and this edition is phenomenal. Pick this up, I swear to God, it's really good. And finally, we have the final one, Halloween 5. Now, this is definitely the weakest of all 5 of the films that have been released. I don't know, compared to Halloween, I just feel like the momentum that was built up in Halloween 4 has just kind of gone, story-wise, not about the transfer, we'll talk about the transfer in a bit. Yeah, story-wise, obviously it follows about, I think it's about a year after the first of Halloween 4, and then obviously Jamie's like a mute and stuff like that. They've left her in a psychiatric hospital because obviously of the events of Halloween 4. But yeah, basically it's then, so Michael comes back after a year, doing the same odd stuff, and then there's a sinister man in black that has appeared for some reason. Ooh, which is not really relevant to this review because we don't know about that until Halloween 6, and that's not on 4K yet, so we can't talk about it. We sort of can, but we won't really go into it too much. So yeah, obviously Halloween 5, the opening scenes literally are just shots from the Halloween 4. Right off the bat, you can tell they're not very good quality because obviously they're just clips. They must have, when they were making this, they were sourced from not the original film negatives, so they just weren't able to transfer them properly, so that's why they're not the clearest when it comes to this release. So it kicks to the bit where like the explosion goes off and you see Michael enter the river. Then the transfer picks up because we're on to the Halloween 5 footage. And then yeah, literally you can see the difference between those two. It's like night and day. Like it's really grainy and really not in focus, and then you see Michael in the river. It looks really crisp. The water looks great. You can see the shiny wetness of Michael's mask. That's how great like that part of the transfer is. I wouldn't say this is like as good as Halloween 4. Actually, I kind of would. Sometimes I feel, I don't know why, I felt like more consistently that this transfer was clearer in more areas. I'm not really too sure. Maybe there's more inside shots, outside shots. I really don't know. Just like some of the kills and deaths look really good. Like when Michael kills that guy Mike, who's going out with Tina. Like that looked really great. So right off the bat, can we talk? I want to talk about the intro sequence. So when the film actually starts, we obviously have reused footage from Halloween 4. I think it must have been whatever source they took those footage from for making the film again. Like when they were doing the film, didn't look the best. They must have not taken it from a great source because on the transfer, it's still very grainy and still very obvious that it's just like, maybe it's just taken off VHS tapes or something. I don't know if VHS, yeah, I think, or something like that, or just not a very good film reel. But yeah, you can tell in the transfer they're not very good. But then when it actually gets onto the Halloween 5 footage, the difference is night and day. It clears up very nicely. You can tell, like, because obviously Michael's in the river, you can even see how shiny and wet the mask actually is quite well. So yeah, it's like night and day when it comes to those parts. I don't really know which transfer I would say is better out of these two. I feel like this one does have a few more consistencies. Like, it feels like, when I say consistency, I wasn't noticing the grain as much in the film, but then I've heard people say that this is the worst out of all 5 of them, so I'm not really too sure. It's a bit, it's just basically who you trust, really. I don't know if you trust me or not. But yeah, I still think this looked really great. Definitely look better than the DVD, for sure. But maybe also because there's quite a lot of daylight shots in this. Maybe that's why I wasn't noticing the grain as much. I don't know. Well, yeah, Halloween 4 is a lot darker of a film than this one. Like, it's more, that one's more set at night. This one's more set in the day. I feel like there's only a few main night moments. Now, talk about the intro to the film. The intro is like this really creepy orange text, and the quality is the best it's ever looked. Honestly, it looks fantastic, and the knife echoing noises mixed with the a new rendition of the original theme. It's just, oh, I can't express the feeling it sets for this film. It's incredible, honestly. I think it's really good. Also, I will say the colour grading in quite a lot of places, because there's a lot of daytime shots, I think it does work quite well. Like, outside Tina's house, I think all the natural, like, garden stuff looks very natural. Like, the flowers look very nice. I do think it looks pretty good, to be fair. It's definitely not the worst the film's ever looked, I can tell you that much for sure. At some points of the film, though, the film itself is definitely weaker than the transfer. There's just some really corny dialogue. There's some really bad decisions. Like Michael's mask. In some shots, it literally looks like just a teenager is wearing his mask. The example of that is when he's creeping around in Rachel's house. And he's coming out of the wardrobe. He just doesn't. He looks like a child. He looks ridiculous. He doesn't look menacing at all. Also, you got Tina in this. Fucking Tina is the worst character. She's just overly annoying. She doesn't care about anyone but herself. Like Rachel dies and Jamie asks for her to stay, but she's more interested in getting laid and going to a party. Like, I don't know. It's just, it annoys me. 1989 this film came out. Fun fact. Yeah. But there are some really nice moments in this, I will say. The really nice moment that I can really think of that really actually warms my heart is when Jamie speaks for the first time, and the music is really nice, and how Tina and Jamie get on really well, and it's really nice. Again, Danielle Harris is phenomenal in this. She plays the mute role very well. She plays that scene she plays very well. The bit where she's in the house at the end and she's all the bodies. Oh, when she sees Tina, it breaks my heart, because she didn't know that Tina was dead until that point. So honestly, Danielle Harris is the highlight of Halloween 4 and 5, along with Donald Pleasance, who is again phenomenal in this. He's just become more of a cynical bastard. He's becoming more and more unlikable, but the more this goes on, the more it corrupts him, I feel like, but the more he keeps trying to stop this, honestly. Delivers some beautiful lines like, what was that line called? I've got it written down. Oh, the line where it's like, hell would not have him. Oh, goosebumps, incredible. So again, with the music cues and stuff like that, I will say some of the rock cues and like comedic cues really take away from some of the more serious elements of this film. It's mainly with those two cops and just some of the teenage characters. It's just, yeah. I feel like this is probably one of the, out of the first 5, this is the least focused. It feels like it doesn't know what to focus on properly. Like with all the stuff for the Man in Black that they're introducing into the next film, which they didn't even know. They didn't know what they really wanted to tell with that story. So it's kind of a shame. It's cool, but then obviously, in the context of making this film, it doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? And also something I did notice about the transfer this time now, because it's so clear. There's you can clearly tell that some stuff has been cut out of it. Example, or where the film cut. It was in the barn that I noticed it. It was when they were having the sex scene. There was a massive jolt cut. I don't know if it's where they were swapping over film cans or if they just cut it from the original take. But it was more noticeable to say where they actually where the film cut in the film, if that makes sense, or bits were cut, which I quite liked actually. It's just like, oh, something was missing there. But yeah, I do like that about the transfers. It's the fact that these transfers are making me spot out little imperfections and stuff like that in films that I've loved for so many years. It hasn't making me love these films any less. I'll tell you what, these transfers have made me love these films even more, honestly, even more. Example with the Halloween 1 transfer, you can even see when Michael smashes the window where he's breaking the nurse out, you can see the spanner that is on the hand, which just has flesh-coloured tape on it. Honestly, great. That's what I love about these transfers. But overall, Halloween 5, definitely pick up this edition of Halloween 5. It's just the best it's ever looked. Pick up all of these editions if you can still. Honestly, they are really worth it. Before I go and do the outro, let's just talk about the ending of Halloween 5. Obviously, they capture Michael. They sedate him. That bit where Loomis is beating him with a plank and he lands on him is so weird, but also it is really interesting. Obviously, they capture him, they incarcerate him, and they're going to lock him away. And then suddenly, all of a sudden, an explosion goes off. And you have the cell is empty, and you have that very ominous no from Daniel Harris. It's Daniel Harris's final line with the echo effect of the music that really sells the end of this film. It still gives me goosebumps. I think they all give me goosebumps. Halloween 4, 5, 6, H2O, Resurrection, they all give me a certain chill to an extent, which I appreciate, even though they're not the best films ever. Obviously, the sequels, obviously, the Halloween 1 is the best film ever, according to me. But yeah, no, Halloween 5, really great transfer. Halloween 4, a great transfer. And guess what? Halloween 3, the best transfer out of all of them. Halloween 2, a great transfer. And Halloween 1, which is under, like, 4 copies of Halloween, apparently. But yeah, overall, incredibly happy with what Scream Factory have done with these releases. If you saw from the unboxing, these are all packed to the fucking brim with special features as well. Amazing art, great transfers, and obviously the uniformity on these is incredible. And I definitely think that all 5 of these are worth a purchase. If you're a massive horror fan, I do think that they are worth a purchase just because of the special feature content, the great transfers. I think they're very enjoyable movies. I just think overall that these 5 films are definitely worth it, in my opinion. And I really do hope that we get Halloween 6, H2O, Resurrection, Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2 in this same sort of style, because yeah, they've done such a great job on these. I think that the other 5 definitely deserve it. In my opinion, I really hope that once Kills and Halloween End is out, that they will get the same transfer sort of love from Scream Factory as well. Obviously, I have a lot to say on those the new trilogy that's happening so far, but I still would love to have them in the same vein as this. But yeah, that is it for my review of the Halloween 5 films. And thanks for watching, guys. This is like my second or third proper film review. I know, like I haven't mentioned, they're probably not the most in-depth things, but I did want to talk about what I thought about the transfers on these 5 gorgeous films. Yeah, definitely probably my favourite release of the year is these. But yeah, honestly, recommend picking these up if you want to pick them up. I recommend WoW HD. Do a load of great stuff for UK people. Go give them a check out. Follow me on Instagram and stuff like that. Hopefully you did enjoy this. Go check out what I've been watching my October pickup videos, both in the link in the description. That being said, guys, I hope you have a good one. Watch out for the guy wearing the white William Shatner mask. And yeah, for everyone here, that is just me, myself, and I. You have yourself a good one. Peace out, people. Bye.